Welcome back, people. It is episode 28 of season 6 of the Taxi Squad podcast. We got a fair amount of things to get into today. Before we do, like, follow, subscribe. We hope you kept all of your phalanges over the past weekend. We have strange and unusual topics about people pretending to be other people. We also have not so strange, but kind of unusual topics about the White Sox. We touch on a subject that we haven't yet, which is quite crazy. We have some World Cup talk, a little bit of therapy there. We have a very special guest in the baseball category that definitely want to stick around on this one. A lot of MLB Draft preview, and we get into just a little bit of why Canada shouldn't be allowed to do things. NBA review, and somebody in the NFL got married. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back, it's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Vince!
Oh,
Long time, cuz. How you been?
hey there, bud.
Hey,
Yeah,
bud.
we just spent a lot of time together in the last week and a half.
That's what friends do.
I've been seeing you a
Friends are
lot,
for.
dude. I want to give you an update, but you got all the updates. Do the people have the updates? 4th of July happened. It rained the whole time. Didn't blow off a finger.
Good.
That was fine, but also didn't go in the
Good.
pool, which was less than fine because I wanted to hit a pool
That's
this
not-
weekend.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Had a couple adult pops.
Oh,
Had
yeah.
a good time. Went to the beach, almost died. Good times.
Yeah, man. You went to the beach in the middle of a fucking torrential downpour.
I went to
was
the
like,
beach when it
shit.
was nice outside and the weather said nothing was going to go wrong. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, tornado warning in 10 minutes. I'm like, that's sick. I promise you, it was clear until 6 p.m. that day. And then randomly at 1 p.m., it was just whoosh, sideways rain, run to my friend's car. I'm dying. All this is crazy. Just 3 of us just running through. I'm like, this is military training. Kind of fun. Did all that, got back to the car, had a college day out of it. It was very fun. We did a whole thing. So
What's
How
a
about you, Bob?
college day?
it's
What's
one
a
of those we were
college
like,
day?
so we were all hanging out and it was like, well, we were going to go to the beach. And then we got back to my house and I was like, well, you know, usually when I have people over, we have like a plan of what we're going to do. I was like, I don't have any plan. I'm like, let's just go through all of the extra beer that I randomly have in my fridge and we're going to play Flip Cup. And then we're
Nice.
going to watch some sports. And then my buddy's like, can I shower? I'm like, sure, man, go ahead. So like someone showered at my house, another man in my shower. Yeah, it was just random stupidness. And then we were like, want to order pizza? It's like, sure. And we went back to the beach. So it was kind of just like, you know, flying by the seat of our pants, which I don't do often anymore.
Hey, sometimes the best plan is no plan.
I agree.
And it's just feeling it out, right? That's what it's all about because you put your never mind. But yeah, Vince, it was a wonderful time to be in Chicago. I will not lie. I'm happy to be at home base. I hadn't been home in almost a week and a half. So when I walked into my front door last night with wife, we were very grateful to be back. We loved spending time with everybody, seeing everybody. It was great. It was go, 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 go for 11 days. Grateful to be the go, 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 but it catches up with you after a little bit.
Sure.
So to the point, we spent all the time together. As you saw last week, we were together for the podcast. This week we're not. But we do have a very special guest on this podcast today, Donnie Marbut,
Thank
St.
you.
Louis Cardinals scout in the
Yes.
North or Pacific Northwest. Just one of the best people I think we've had the pleasure of opportunity of knowing in
Yep.
this industry, and we thank him greatly. So to kind of get into it, Vince, I mean, let's get on the strange and unusual wagon.
Shall we?
I sent this to you yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But we've been talking over the past few weeks about strange and unusual topics about people betting in basketball. Well, now it's bled into indicted college basketball players, not for gambling,
It's
but
just
other
pure fraud.
crimes.
Pure fraud.
Just fraud. Just blatant fraud, not
Yeah.
pretending to be fraud where they're flopping and dopping. No. This is true fraud. So let's talk about Kirk Harissa,
Mhm.
former Kentucky basketball player. He was arrested on Monday In between a $2.2 million fraud scheme, the Department of Justice announced Carissa, a 6'3" guard from Estonia who played for Kentucky, Arizona, West Virginia, and Cincinnati over the past 6 years, allegedly carried out a scheme to obtain nearly $2.2 million from multiple victims using false representations, fabricated identities, and deceptive communications, per the DOJ's news release. Carissa played for Cincinnati last season and averaged 5.8 points a game. Booty cheeks. Suffered a separated right shoulder in February and missed the rest of the season. According to the Department of Justice, Carissa clearly was bored and allegedly ran a 4-year scheme that involved convincing one victim to send him money by saying his mother had cancer and needed treatment. This guy's a piece of dog shit. By posing as his mother in another scheme, he allegedly told one victim he needed money to, and quote, save the family's farm. He also allegedly acted as a woman named Irene, not Eileen, because that'd be cool if it was come on Eileen, to sign a fraudulent promise to repay one of the victims $100,000 by a February deadline. Financial fraud schemes erode trust and cause real harm to victims. No kidding. But this is crazy. And chances are he'll never play sports ever again.
Yeah, no, he's going to jail. This is one of those foreign call center schemes that get old people, and you're like, come on. Don't give them the social security number. Don't give them your credit card number. They're not the Prince of Caspian or whatever that movie was. You're not going to be able to get money from them. They're not going to marry you. You hear about them all the time, the catfishing, the people saying I'm this, I'm that. This guy, I never knew him. He played for 4 universities in 6 seasons, so clearly he has a problem committing to one thing, the same way that he has multiple personality disorder here. $2.2 million. Is a wild amount of money.
It's a lot of change, Vince. That's, I mean, how it's like, it's terrible to say this, but it's borderline impressive.
It is, but also like to have even a semblance of decency. To be like, you're robbing these people blind. You're like, God, he really is an insane person. He really is.
Criminal.
Yeah, but like, you could be a criminal that mostly just hurts yourself. Like, this is quite literally like narcissism to a level that I can't even imagine. Or to be like, oh, I deserve this money from this old lady because she's helping me save my family's farm. Like, to have that level of like comfort and ruining other people's lives is crazy. But also, stop falling for it, people. Please.
Truly, like the
How did
family
he pose
farm.
as his mom? He's a 6'3" man. He's like, oh, hi there. I'm Eileen and I'm losing my farm.
Well,
you're like, what are we doing?
Was he doing it in like the local chats of like the university? I don't know how he was playing this one off, especially if you're playing on a major university's basketball team. You're getting all the gear. You may have some NIL money coming in.
You're at least not paying for anything at school,
No, you're not paying for shit at school other than just trying to do it. So clearly, like I said, maybe he just got injured and got a little bored. This got way too out of hand. I mean, Vince, have you ever seen Catfish? You remember some of like
that's what
these
I brought
chunky
it up,
Mexican. Come on, let's not forget Manti Te'o.
I know. I remember that too. That was
Poor
insane as
Manti.
well. But he kind of knew what was
like
going on too, and he had to hush it after a while.
He did kind of.
After he learned what was going on, he kept the ruse going. Yeah.
Poor guy was never the same after that, by the way.
He was all right on the Saints for a couple of years.
Yeah, and then like the Bears gave him a tryout at one point, I thought, right?
Work out. He almost won a Heisman. Really.
He did.
He was close. Yep. He was really good in college.
He was very close. He was very good in college. And, poor guy, he was like right when you didn't know what the word or phrase catfish meant.
Yeah, and he was very Christian, and he wasn't a dog or anything like that. So you kind of feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, and you feel bad for the people involved in this. I would just like to get an opportunity to meet them and be like, do you pick up the phone when you don't know the number? Because how many times you've gotten the phone call that your car warranty is going to be expired?
Oh, or it's like, hey, your home loan that you applied for? I'm like, didn't do that. Don't know who's calling me about that, but thank you, random financial company I've never heard of. Stupid.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, Vince, think about the corporate fraud that goes on in the world, right? I mean, think about Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
Bernie Madoff, terrible human.
There was a guy. Wall Street.
Yeah, the Wolf of Goy. And then there was, all of the different scam artists that were going around in the late 90s. There was one in particular in the Chicagoland area that was like hyper investing a bunch of people's money and claimed to be like some stockbroker. And a lot of guys got involved with him locally. And then he would get you like one big return and then keep the rest of your funds. And you'd give him like an entry of $50,000. Huge fraud scheme. They wound up finding him dead in his office because he took his own life. So word of the wise of the human beings who want to commit fraud, don't commit fraud.
Don't do that. There's just, we say it all the time. Be faithful. Don't commit fraud. Don't take advantage of other people. Be honest.
Don't.
Those are the pillars of the TSP, kid, and that's what I believe in.
Pillars of the TSP. Now, if you can't take advantage of a lovely summer day in Chicago and drinking a little too much, you are going to enjoy this one because that's one thing you should definitely take advantage of while the weather is good. Chicago baseball fans just don't drink. During the game, they take it to a whole other level. A new survey of nearly 3,500 MLB fans ranked which fan bases eat and drink the most at games. White Sox fans, not Cubs fans, tied for the highest average number of drinks consumed during games at 2.5 beers a game.
Average.
The Cubs weren't far behind, ranking 6th in beers at 2.2.
You got to think, like, average? There's probably a quarter of the stadium that isn't drinking at all, which means that the other 75% of them are drinking 3.5, 4 beers a game. That's $48. Like, now I understand why Reinsdorf keeps it open during a rain delay, because it's like, at least they're going to spend $50 on drinks.
Well, does that include like the bar areas too? Because
yeah, it has to. I imagine it includes all of the.
But I mean, God, drinking liquor at a baseball game, it's special, man. You got to be like.
I get those big old cans of Topo Chico seltzers.
Oh yeah, those are good. Those are good.
Cold.
But the beer just gets you to a point where you just like you felt like you ate 3 loaves of bread.
It makes my tum hurt because I'm a baby now.
Listen, I could drink Mick Ultra till the cows come home.
Yeah, that's true.
If I'm
going to drink a beer, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. But
yeah.
Give me one of those like what are the I like the still like iced tea lemonade things. The vodka iced tea lemonades, the still. I don't like the sparkling. Something crispy. Nice.
Hot
That's
day.
what I want. Hot day, cold tea.
Just be careful with a hot day, beer and peanuts, because there have been instances
beer and
in
what?
Peanuts. Where what else do you don't eat peanuts, by the way, at any other sporting event?
Didn't sound like you said peanuts.
I said it too fast?
Yeah, you said beer and peanuts. And I'm like, okay.
What, like
okay, go ahead. Do what you want. I don't
just
judge.
Like how like one of my favorite ball players is Nick Kurtz. So with that being said, peanuts and beer and a hot day, you got to be very careful. Okay. And the reason I say this is because sometimes if just shit storms have been known to happen, and the last place you want to get caught with bubble guts is a baseball game.
That's
because
true.
Let's face it, those are great facilities to do the one, but the two.
Yeah. Made for the one.
Bad news. Made
for
the one.
It's like having to take a 2 at the gym. You're like,
Well, you might as well just close up shop.
I was going to say, I'd rather waddle home. Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet, because what else are you going to do?
That's why you got to be good on your pre and probiotics, and you eat enough fiber, and you make it a daily occurrence.
Vince is on his like holistic shit right now, type shit, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not planning to take your probies and your digestive enzymes, and no, you're not planning that.
Well, it's not a plan. It's a habit. You wake up, boom, boom, boom. I'm done. I did it. Congrats.
All right. If any probiotic company would like to sponsor this podcast, Taxi Squad Podcast, feel free to hit us up at any point in time. 312-752-5121.
I'd save some money on pros, some pre's and pros. I got to have the combos though. Got to have the combos.
I'll start digging into it.
You should.
Send me your lineup about probiotics.
I'll send you my whole supplement list, man. It's good. Good stuff.
Yeah, send me the sup list. I
Milk
need
thistle for your livers, complex B vitamins for everything. Ashwagandha for your brain health, creatine, brain health as well as gains. Come on, we're doing it all.
Gains.
We're doing it all. The one that we haven't touched on, Mike, is something that we should have, because this is probably the strangest and weirdest story that I have ever heard, I think, from an active football player. I mean, we've heard a lot of random stuff here, but this one goes out to what? What do you think?
The guy who murdered somebody in cold blood and then hid his body in like a quarry and then went back home like nothing happened and then showed up to the facility the next day and they told him to leave. And then they found him at his house and there was like a whole investigation.
I'm saying when we recorded.
Oh.
Yeah, since we started the show, we were post Aaron Hernandez.
Got you. That's who I was talking about, by the way.
Yes. This one, Terrion Arnold, former first-round draft pick for the Detroit Lions, 24th overall. He was arrested at the end of June on the 24th for multiple felony charges stemming from an incident that allegedly occurred in early February in Tampa. So, Terrion Arnold got an Airbnb in Largo with his friends. This was in February. On the 1st, more than $250,000 worth of cash, jewelry, watches, and luxury items were stolen from the house. He believed that 3 guys were responsible. Those 3 guys were later concluded to not have done the crimes at all. This gets more interesting because one of the charges is kidnapping, Mike. So prosecutors allege, it's all alleged, but it's seeming like it's probably real. That Arnold, several associates created a plan to lure one of the victims there. 2 female acquaintances contacted one of the victims, invited him to an apartment. Hey, come over. You want to hang out? Sure. The victim arrived with 2 friends. 2 armed men were inside of a bedroom closet. Once they entered, they were attacked, guns pointed at them, beaten and pistol whipped, hands restrained, and they were prevented from leaving. So this wasn't Terrion Arnold that did it, but his role. He traveled towards the apartment. One of the women live streamed the assault to Arnold so we can watch it happen. A group chat amongst all of them allegedly shows Arnold giving instructions as to what to do on the whole thing. And then about an hour later, he arrived and directed the others during the remainder of the incident. There's electrical traces for all this stuff. Police say they were detained. They were robbed of $6,200 in cash. These were the victims. One person reported that Arnold was his personal driver. Investigators later determined that none of the 3 victims had stolen any of his property. So he's got 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of armed robbery, and he was kind of the kingpin over the whole thing. And the first thing I have is, okay, you make a lot of money, $250 is a lot. Cool off. Second thing I have is, you need to distance yourself from this if you're going to do something crazy like that. You can't be running the whole scheme if you're in the NFL and you're a person that people know. And the third thing I have in this is cool off.
Well, it gets a little deeper. So they went on like a mission. So at around 1:40 a.m., all 3 victims were escorted out of the apartment by the armed suspects, forced into their vehicle, and the victims immediately left the scene. The valet, Williams, and another individual entered a vehicle being driven by Arnold.
He was
and subsequently left the scene. The victims reported the incident in Tampa police and positively identified the suspects. Following thorough investigation and the execution of a search warrant, detectives identified and apprehended about 6 individuals. Crazy.
Yeah, they literally were like, hey, we're taking this into our own hands.
What's crazier about this is 2 of them are 19-year-old females.
Those were the 2 that called him and said, come over. Come hang out with us. And then that's how they robbed him. Well, it's a good way to lure a young man is to be like, oh, these ladies want to hang out.
Yeah, but dude, you're a grown-ass man. Now, like, I understand you just got drafted, but you're about to go hang out with a bunch.
I don't think that he should have done any of this. I'm just saying that like, plan-wise, he had a good plan to get him there.
What's crazy is these guys go through like so much pre-draft training. You get them?
Yeah.
You a little bug?
Yep.
So much pre-draft training about what not to do, what to do. Just
I'm pretty sure kidnapping and armed robbery is pretty high on that list of things not to do.
Stop trying to be a gangster, dog. You're not a gangster.
Yeah.
Like,
and
you might
get it.
be on
They
the
stole
field.
a lot, and the police aren't going to take a lot of credence into it for a while. But you're going to get that money back, man. It's going to happen. Like, cool off.
Especially if it's jewelry, insure all of your jewelry, and chances are good things happen, you know? But this is insane. Now, what's crazier about this, Vince, is, to your point, all of these things are alleged. So following all of this alleged accusations on Terrion Arnold, the Detroit Lions released him. Well, he posted bail at $1 million. And following his arrest, as of today, he cleared waivers and is a free agent. So the biggest question is if I am a cornerback needy team, because mind you, he's pretty legit.
He's good.
Are you taking a flyer on the guy and maybe he's innocent?
No.
Really?
Oh, no. Let it go.
Oh, some teams come to mind.
I'm sure some would, and some have, amongst other guys doing insane shit. But if it were me, I mean, it's you could do the whole Ray Rice thing. You can do, I mean, Marvin Harrison. I mean, Ray Lewis, like all these guys, and he's not as good as any of those guys.
That's all I'm saying. We can't forget that, like Marvin Harrison allegedly, I mean, got people shot. Ray Lewis allegedly stabbed a guy. I mean, there's a lot of evidence in that before we lived in a surveillance state. And then, I mean, man, it's crazy.
I wouldn't touch him. That seems like a distraction.
You don't think like the Chiefs are going to try and sign this guy?
I'm sure somebody will like look into it, see what's up, figure out what the depth is.
I'm kicking tires.
I guess like check in. If it's like super fugazi and you're like, all right, nah, but this just it seems.
What
like
if you're Ben Johnson and you know the character of the guy? You're like, there's no way in hell he did that shit. Aren't you calling? Just say, hey, we could use another corner.
He also knows the people in Detroit, and if there was no credence to it, they probably would have kept him.
Yeah, you got a point.
You know, I don't know. I'm kind of just like, he's good, but is he that good? I mean, if it was like Champ Bailey in his prime, then I'm like, yeah, I'm checking it out. You know.
I think there's a lot of teams out there that would still check it out, Vince. If you have a theory on this and you think he's going to wind up somewhere, feel free to call us 312-725-2107.
Yeah.
Well, Vince, are you sad today?
I was really sad yesterday. And then
you were sad yesterday?
The beauty of it is that you can think about things and go, you know what? They got as far as I thought they could. You know?
We are who they thought they were, in the words of Dennis Green. Yeah.
It was, so for people that don't know, because you wouldn't, we were recording this on Tuesday, isn't it? And last night, the United States lost to Belgium 3-1. 4-1, excuse me. I forgot about the last goal. That was just funny. Amongst a bunch of things, the commander-in-chief of this great country calls FIFA, who's always been an upstanding group of people, whatever you call it, association.
Oh, yeah.
They've always done everything well.
Our government.
Yeah, no, they're probably more. I mean, the whole Qatar thing and all that, you're like, what are you even doing? They took away the red card on Balogun that happened, or Balogun last game. In a move that, like, one, it gives credence to America being a real, like, at least a kind of a real soccer country, because now they're getting the FIFA corruption towards us, which usually doesn't happen. Usually it goes to the Argentinas and the Spanish and the French of the world. But also, too, you look at it and you're like, all right, Belgium was pissed, which I would be too, because like, what the hell? Like, you can't, like, rescind it later. And also, like, you brought it up to me, too, because I was like, they took the red card away, and we were hanging out, and you were like, it's bullshit. I'm like, I get it kind of is bullshit. Like,
you can do that.
You can't. Like, it already happened.
How are you allowed to do that? Like,
you could say you made a mistake, but you can't take it away.
That's like the NFL suspending a player for a game, saying like, all right, you fucked up, you're suspended. That was an egregious hit or whatever. And then they came back and they were like, he didn't mean it. So
Tom Brady called, and I think we're going to let you play.
Yeah. And of all people to Trump, like the way he explains it in the interview that he gave is it's the most Trump shit ever.
He's like, I don't really understand it, all this stuff. And he's like, and I know sports. And you're like, what? You just, he's so dumb. He's so dumb.
A lot of guys want to say they know soccer. I know soccer. Football.
No, he
is
said he
never
didn't
referred
know
to it as.
soccer, but he understands sports, including
I
soccer.
understand sports. I was a wonderful athlete. I was a great athlete. Best in my class. Best you've ever seen, actually, if I'm being quite frank. But I called him. I said, listen, you should look at it one more time. Look at it again.
It's so
exactly how it
dumb.
went.
And he put the absolute Maloik on us to get into the
think he did.
game. To get into the game, they were playing differently than they have. And I talked to a lot of people about this. And Belgium was for sure the best team that they played. Yeah, they're probably a couple years after their prime in this squad, but they're still the fastest team, the best coach team that we've played so far. You could tell that we weren't as fast. They were playing tentatively. They were playing really heavy on defense, and there was not a lot of offensive push for at least half the game. And you're like, okay, maybe they're going to push in the second half. Pulisic gets smoked out. He gets injured. You're like, all right, he can't play properly. He's our best player. Balogun doesn't do anything. We make the PK, or not the PK, but the free kick. You're like, all right, maybe there's a chance. And it was just the whole game. It just didn't feel good. It didn't look good. Belgium was the better team. Undeniably. I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't like, I was sad, but I also wasn't surprised, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's getting compared to James Franklin's Penn State years.
I
Have you
heard
seen
somebody
this?
call him A&M, but it's the same thing, yeah.
So everybody's comparing USA soccer to James Franklin's Penn State.
Yeah, that might be hyperbole,
Which is
everybody.
Well, most people.
Not most
A lot of
people.
guys want
A
to look
lot
at
of
this
guys. Yeah.
and say, wow, that's James Franklin. But truly, they could win against the really shitty teams, which,
Even the
let's
decent
face it,
teams.
even the decent teams. But once you played somebody that was truly on your level,
Yeah.
you kind of went bye-bye real quick.
I mean, dude, what, they started with 62 teams? Something like
I
that?
understand.
We're at
I
16.
understand.
We're at 16.
But
You're
if-
like, yeah, man, like 58, something like that. It's just, are we a top 16 team in the world in soccer? I wouldn't think so. We wanted it to happen, and we're like, hey, why not us? Why not us? It's just,
You beat Australia, Paraguay, you lost to Germany, you beat Senegal, and then in the friendlies you played Belgium, and probably should have been a scotch of a foreshadowing when they got pumped.
Friendlies,
They got
you never really
pumped.
know. I don't even call them
They lost
friendlies.
5-2 in the friendlies.
I know, but also it's a friendly. Like, who cares? There's no like stake in it. Either way. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, Paraguay only lost by 1 to France any given Sunday or any given day that they play. It's just yesterday you knew after 10 minutes, you're like, this team is not as good as this other team. And all the strategy that we had, it doesn't apply to someone that could, fill a hole 3 seconds earlier when you're trying to make that outlet pass. And you're like, okay, get your eyes out of this, fill a hole. Just like a football game. Yeah. There was just passes they couldn't make anymore. They didn't even touch the box for the majority of the game. There you go again. Dude.
Pause.
So it was just, the crosses we weren't making those crosses, like the anything towards the goal. And then we
needed better penetration.
Yeah. Pause. We were down 2-1. You're like, something's possible. Our goalie runs halfway across the field, tries to kick the ball just right into the turf, and then you're like, all right, that goal goes in. You're like, we're cooked. We're cooked.
Dude, he Youngway cooed.
He did.
He Youngway cooed it. It was,
and he's been playing.
hysterical.
He played very well for the vast majority of this tournament, and it's just Belgium's a better team. Just is. And the thing is like, dude, even if we won that, like, we're not beating Spain. There's no chance. So it's like, even Belgium's going up against Spain. You're like, good luck, dudes. I'd rather just not even play them.
Well, to kind of not bury the lead, but foreshadow a little bit. I mean, moving into the next rounds, Argentina.
Well, let's talk about some of the other games, Mike. Come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How about Norway?
Oh, how about our guy? How about Sir Viking Erling Haaland, dude?
He's really good at soccer.
he has been good. And I've been under this whole thing, and people will argue probably, but the two best players in the world right now are Mbappe and Erling Haaland. It is what it is. Mbappe can
Probably fair.
He can make his own goals. Erling Haaland, he needs his team to work with him a little bit. He's a little less like, give me the ball and let me run with it. A little less Ronaldo in that way or Messi in that way. But watching that game, you're like, Brazil, they've been to the quarterfinals in all 8 of the last 8 World Cups. Norway has never even gotten this far. So you're like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And one guy like that can make a difference. He is 6'5", 225 or something like that.
He's a Viking.
Fast as shit, gets up there, heads it in. No one's taller than him. No one's jumping as high as he is. He knows what he's doing on the field. And I saw the Homer Simpson meme where a guy was in the U.S. shirt and then he goes into the bushes and then he comes back out with the Norway shirt on. I think that's the entirety of the U.S. He's just rooting for Norway now.
I mean, do you root for the Redcoats now? Because they beat Mexico.
No.
Which that was sick.
But also, I wanted Mexico to win, dude.
Yeah, true. It would be good to see the United States and Mexico get it done.
Yeah.
But I really like Norway. I did some homework on Norway before the show. Haaland, Odegaard, and Sørloth all have one thing in common. And do you want to know what that one thing is?
Viking blood.
Their fathers played for Team Norway like
Haaland's
25 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's crazy. They all these guys are destined to play together.
Well,
they might be the team of destiny.
Greg Berhalter played for the U.S. team, and then his son played this year. And Gio Reyna's dad, Claudio, played for earlier. I don't know when, in the 90s or whatever it is, and he plays for the U.S. too. But
you grow up in soccer and you play more soccer.
Oh, what's his name? The Prince of Liberia.
Yeah, that guy.
No, he's on the U.S. team. Timothy Way, his dad. So Timothy Way or however you say it is on the U.S. men's national team. Also plays for Juventus. He's the son of George Way, who the 1995 Ballon d'Or winner. He is the 25th president of Liberia. He played for the U.S.
actually.
And his son was on the U.S. team as well, and he's like the whatever you want to call it, Prince of Liberia.
That's crazy.
He's born in Brooklyn, but he's got dual citizenship. So yeah, he's straight up like part of the Liberian government.
Fit for a prince. But let's go to the Redcoats against Mexico because this game was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, pissed me off, dude.
England gets a red card.
Yeah.
On João Quança. And they still find a way to win the game against a very good Mexico team.
Mexico's been good all freaking
And Mexico basically beat them in every major category, but they still found a way to win.
Harry Kane puts the ball in the back of the net. He's old. He needs something. This is the thing. England hasn't won a lot of things recently. They claim soccer is their sport and it's, bring it home and all this stuff, and they haven't done it. Harry Kane's had a legendary career. He hasn't won as much in his career. He's kind of a stats compiler. He's kind of Chris Paulin it a little bit, getting close but never doing it. He's having a hell of a tournament. He's an older guy, but he's having a hell of a tournament. Do I see them doing anything? I don't know. Maybe they beat Norway and then they have to play against Spain or France or Argentina. And I'm like, I don't know about any of that. It's just Mexico was playing very well and people were really jacked about it, but they kind of were on the same page as the U.S. team. It was like I know they haven't lost the whole tournament, but now you're playing England. You're not playing,
True. You're not playing in a terrible pool or terrible division.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Argentina today. Wow. When we're saying today, we're saying Tuesday. Argentina wins against Egypt 3-2. Times of goals. Christian Romero, 79.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi, 83. Enzo Fernandez, 90
stoppage.
plus 3.
Yeah, he's at stoppage time. He hit it in the 93rd minute. It was stupid. I was watching the game and it was, you're like, Egypt scores 1 and you're like, okay. Argentina's going to figure it out. They're playing a little slow in the beginning. I think they underestimate them a little bit. Egypt scores 2 and you're like, oh shit. the end of the game's coming, man. Like, at some point, they're going to have to do it. And then I get in my car, and 15 minutes later, Argentina wins the game. And I'm like, what happened? So I went back and watched it. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, something happened. I don't know what it was, but it was, defense opened up. I mean, Messi misses the PK earlier in the game. You're like, that's bad juju. Something's going on. Like, especially because the other guy ended up not winning, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, that's got to be like a momentum shifter for the ages. And now they're playing Switzerland that they can definitely beat. Like, you feel bad for Egypt because like their fans were out there in crazy amounts in this game, and Mo Salah and all those boys. It's just like, yeah, they're really competing, and they're gonna beat the last champion, and yada yada yada. And now it's looking like we might get an Argentina Spain again, or Argentina France again, like we did last time.
Very well could. I would love to see Norway make it past the quarterfinals. I mean, you can't count France out as well. I mean,
yeah.
It is so legit.
Should we do a moment of silence?
For
Ronaldo, dude. Can't have it all. Can't have it all, Cristiano.
Is he really going to retire?
What, is he going to be 45 in the next World Cup?
Dude, he could sign with an MLS team tomorrow, be competitive. They'll pay him millions. And he can still make
it's not that he's going to retire. It's just that the World Cup isn't every year.
Yeah.
Well, he's what, 41 right now?
Yeah. Dude, Tom did it till he was like 44.
Yeah, he was a football player that didn't need a run. This guy's running 3 miles a game, 4 miles a game. He's 41 right now. He will be the ripe age of 45 years old in the next World Cup. Portugal didn't play as well as they could have. He doesn't have the support system that he's had in the last couple World Cups. They end up losing this game, and you're like, all right, that's bookend. He did everything else in his career. Didn't win the World Cup, and guess who did, Mike?
Messi?
Lionel Messi, man. Last time, and it's like, there's a piece of him that's like, fuck, like, God damn it. Like, I need to do that.
Yeah, of course. It's
just
like Peyton and Tom,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's that same principle. Tom did it far more than Peyton did. So
you're just doing two goats against each other, and public
So
sentiment is so Messi swayed too, and I'm with it. Like, I like him better as a player too. But it's like, Ronaldo, hell of a player for a very long time. And you can see like that Manchester United jersey in like 2007. You're like, that guy was so freaking good for so long. He has the same career as LeBron James essentially. Like, since that age, he's been dogging since then.
I could say Mbappe, man. He might be the best.
We'll see
in this whole thing right now.
He's still not on pace to match him. That's how good they were at the early parts of their career.
Yeah, well, it's still one of those situations. There's a lot of career left for that guy. So
you're right.
As we move into the quarterfinals, we have France, Morocco, Spain, Belgium, Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland.
Best
How
game's
do you
Norway,
think this?
England. Best game's Norway, England. I think
I'd agree with that.
Spain didn't start as well as you thought they were going to. They were the odds-on favorite coming into the tournament. They didn't start as well as they thought they were going to in the group stage. In the last 2 games, you're like, okay, they kind of figured something out. Playing Portugal, they scored 1 goal, but they didn't let a goal in. Especially against Portugal, it's like if you stop anybody from scoring, you're going to win the game, man. On the flip side, France versus Morocco. Morocco's been a very fun story, but I cannot see France losing until the final, and then anything can happen. It's just them losing to Argentina was insane. Spain's going to beat Belgium. I want Norway to win. England's really good at choking when it gets late. They're the James Harden of the the World Cup. And then Argentina, Switzerland. I know Argentina isn't as good as they were last time. That's what people are saying, but I feel like they're going to make it through. We're going to get to a Final Four, and it's going to be France, Spain, Argentina, and then we'll see what happens in the Norway-England matchup. I just think it'd be cool to have a Cinderella Norway running through the whole thing.
What are the odds-on favorite right now
to win?
For Norway to win.
What are the odds for them to win? What money line you're saying? Plus 250.
Plus 1,500.
Jeez, to win the whole thing, or this game against England?
To win the whole thing.
Oh, I thought you meant this next game. Okay, yeah, they're easily the biggest underdog out of any of these people.
Just
They've
saying,
never
it's
done
very
it.
interesting to pay attention.
They've never been there. They've never done it. Their dads, when they all played together, never got this far. They've never had a player like Erling Haaland. We've never had a player like Erling Haaland. Like he's the truth, and sometimes that could be the difference maker in the whole thing. It really can. I don't think they're going to win it. I don't think they're really going to win this next game either, but I hope they do. This is just where my head's at. But looking at it for the rest of the tournament, it's like I foresee, depending on how it all shakes out, I foresee France versus Spain or France versus Argentina, and then anything can happen in the finals. That's kind of where my head's at.
Okay. All right. I like the way your head is working. I do believe that Argentina and France, if that's the final matchup, that would be truly
rematch.
The one.
France wins it.
It would be crazy. It truly would. I'm really gunning for Norway. To your point, just give me different versions of red, white, and blue. Give me the Nordics. Rape and pillage.
Homer Simpson.
Yes, exactly. Well, Vince, it's been fun, man. I might be into soccer now because of this.
And you said it. You're like, once we start getting to knockout stages, we're going to watch it. But like, you were also trial by fire when you were here, and we were like, we're going to go watch soccer. It's been fun. Just, all my, like a big group of my friends, and we're like, we're just going to go watch the game on a Wednesday. And you're like, sweet, let's just go to the bar and watch the game and have some fun. Get a bucket of beers and just sit there and watch the game. And a bunch of people that aren't soccer fans, which this is funny. Like, the listeners of this podcast know I've been on my Premier League shit for the last couple of years. So I understand it. I understand it to a level. I'm not like a massive super fan, but all these people don't know anything about soccer outside of like me and two other ones of my friends. So like they're sitting there, the U.S. scores, everybody's freaking out, and then they take the goal away, and they're like, "What happened? What is offside? How does it work?" I explain it. That's stupid. It's like, well,
can we talk about officiating for 2 seconds? Why is there only one guy? Why is there only one guy for that big of a field?
I know.
And there's and by the way, all the field sizes can be different depending on the league.
Yes, depending on the league. Yes, correct.
It
changes. Okay. Well, we don't have a sport that's multinational. It depends on the type of play that they have. Because like if you go to like Spain, for instance, like they have a lot more of a finesse type of play style where it's like it's all about speed and like longevity and proper pretty passing and all that stuff. If you watch the Premier League, it's like contact, hard hit, get around it, slower pace of play. It changes based on how you're doing it. I liken it to like the league would be like going to a different ballpark depending on what team you're playing.
That's kind of how I related it to. I heard another friend of the pod state that it's like the difference between the XFL or the NFL.
Yeah. For sure. But
college football compared
at
to
any
the
time.
others.
Yeah, I was going to say, but at any time, like La Liga could be better than the EPL, or Serie A was the number one in the world at the beginning of the 2000s, late 90s. So it just depends on what's going on in each of those leagues, where all the money comes from.
What I do enjoy, though, is that if you do suck in Premier League, they send you down a league, which is fantastic.
Tottenham almost got it this year. Famous ass team almost got it. That's what the NBA is doing. With their new lottery, their relegation system is if you're the worst team in the league, you get worse odds to get number one now. So you at least got to be outside of the top 3 to get better odds. It's kind of not a bad idea. So, Mike, Canada did lose to Morocco. But you want to know what they're not losing in?
What are they not losing in, Vince?
Bullshit ass baseball all-star voting. It's so dumb. It's driving me nuts. And I know we talked about this, but it's driving me nuts. There's no reason these guys should be on the all-star team. There's no reason to watch it because Vlad Guerrero's not playing and Wilson Contreras gets put in it. All that's fine. This is not how we should be choosing who's good at baseball. Well, it depends on how many people like them. That is not how that works.
Vlad Guerrero, they put up. I was watching just out of morbid curiosity. I was watching Toronto and the Giants game last night.
Yeah,
and they put up his side by side of 2025 Vlad Guerrero Jr. and 2026 Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the drop off is horrific. Yeah, this man is playing like absolute dog shit.
He's not good this year, and he might get better throughout the year, and we see that all the time. But
he's barely hitting 250.
I know.
At that, it's like 220.
And again, like I said this last week, I never want to fight for a Yankee to make an all-star team. Ben Rice is the best first baseman in the league right now. He just is. Put him in the All-Star game. The Yankees are losing a fan vote? Like, what is going on? It's because they have Quebec. They have Quebec going like boom, and then they get a Japanese guy, and then Japan's like, all right, I guess we're teaming up with Canada. We're World War II in this fucking vote right now. I can't take it. It's driving me nuts.
If there was one Japanese player who should have made it, mine is Shohei Ohtani.
I know he's injured though, Mike. It's different.
That's fine, but his numbers are still better than half of the flipping league in first baseman category.
He's still top 10
Munetake
in home runs?
Murakami is still top 10 in home runs, and the guy hasn't played in a month and a half. Who's Kaka?
Call him Mune. Yeah, call him Mune.
It's just like how I can't pronounce Gio. I can't pronounce Eugenio.
Eugenio. Yeah.
I saw the Reds play the Brewers last week, and I was like, "It's Gino." I was like, Vince would be losing his mind right now. I can't say
anywho. That's what it was.
Anywho.
Yeah.
We were also present when he made history, hitting 4 home runs in a baseball game. No big deal. But to your point, Vince, Canadians stick to hockey.
Don't let them.
No offense. Or how do you fix it? How do you go upon fixing something that is so?
We did this last week, but I'm telling you right now, player vote, coach vote, fan vote. 33, not even 33, 40, 40, 20, 45, 45, 10% fan vote. Done.
Okay. I dig it.
Or just go off of WAR.
Wins above replacement wouldn't be bad, but sometimes that can be skewed depending on how long the guys played. Like, what's the body of work
per season, and it's not like it's not perfect, but it's better than just being like, all right, who likes this guy the most? Because then it's like,
another problem is
Trout. It's always going to be Shohei. It's always going to be Aaron Judge. Like, that's just how it goes.
There needs to be a delegate from each team to play on the All-Star team, which I still think is cheeks.
I think it's stupid too. There's no opinion. Like, who's the worst team in the league right now? We have computers. We can look this up.
It's the worst team in all of baseball is, if I'm not mistaken, it is the Angels. Yeah, it's the Angels.
It is the Angels, correct. Who's going to the All-Star game for the Angels?
Probably Trout. A back-end reliever that nobody heard about. Or Mike Trout. Okay, that's the easiest plug ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even so, it's like the Royals, like Bobby Witt. Okay. Like they have guys. It's just kind of like it should be the best players agreed upon with baseball people instead of like somebody in Quebec getting their grandma to put in something every single day because she finished all of her Sudokus. Like, it's a stupid way to get somebody into the All-Star game. It's dumb.
Well, hey, we're talking about them, Vince. The Canadians.
We have an interview, but I think we should spin the wheel first and then get into the interview.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel. With the wheel of death is the thing.
It's not death.
We spin the wheel of death every week, and we hope we don't put the Maloik on anybody.
It isn't death. Just never.
Usually, every time we talk about the team gets better.
Yeah, so it's the wheel of life.
It's the circle of life. How about that? Lion King plug.
It's the circle of life. All right.
Let's spin the wheel.
Let me pull it up, Mike. Here we go. I should really like do better at this and have it ready, and I never do. Okay, here we go.
Be better, Vince. Spin the wheel. No way.
For those of you that are watching, you already know what happened.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are listening that don't like them, sorry.
We're gonna keep talking about them now.
Hold on, let me look up what's going on with them this season. Just kidding. You don't have to. We got the Chicago White Sox as our spin the wheel team. Mike, what do you know about the Chicago White Sox this year?
Vince, I know that we have outperformed many of expectations.
Every single person's
2026 baseball season. I went to about 9 total White Sox spring training games. So to kind of look back on this, it's quite prophetic that I was like, hey, Vince, we might be pretty good.
Yeah.
We might be pretty good. Maybe we're not going to be the best, but I think we're going to be pretty good. No,
we were on the bad
this.
but fun. We were on bad but fun early, and then about 5 weeks ago, we were like, maybe we're just like kind of good.
Maybe we're good. You got Miguel Vargas making an all-star team. I do think there is some snubs here. I think, Colson Montgomery averaging a home run every 13 at bats is just fucking nuts.
I mean, he did turn down a little bit, but still, I mean, he's still at 224. It's hard to justify an all-star experience.
He's played almost 140 games,
85 games, 2.2 WAR, 224, and he's hit 23 bombs. Yeah, I mean, that'll get you somewhere.
This year,
yes,
I'm talking about his.
That's what all-star games are.
Because last year he hit 20 plus. I'm just saying I'm with you. It's crazy. And Teal's back. This team is starting to mend together, and we're starting to get some consistent. Everyday ball players. Tristan Peters might just be.
I was going to say, maybe who my all-star is?
Surprise.
My all-star is Tristan Peters.
Former Savannah Banana Tristan Peters is absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball, has turned into our almost everyday center fielder, defensive stud, and he's raking in the mid 280s right now. I mean, the guy is truly.
No, he's hitting 295 for the year right now.
That's what's even crazier about this.
809 OPS for a guy that's known as a speed guy. You get him from a team that does the Dougie before everything, and if you hit a foul ball, you could be out. Like, up and down, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, so we're not going to go crazy on this, obviously, but a couple downtrodden things is, catching Edgar Caro. Not great beginning of the season. Hasn't been very good this year. All this stuff. Kyle Teal gets injured in the WBC. He's coming back, still taking care of business, but he's starting to hit a little bit more, which is nice. Drew Romo had that fun game where he hit a home run from both sides of the bat, and you're also like, this guy also isn't good either. Catching might be an issue. Relief pitch might be an issue. Couple starters are playing well. Sean Burke, Eric Fetty had a better month this month than he did last month for sure. The biggest qualm, I'd say, based on guys that we have that we signed, is the patron saint Sir Anthony Dominguez has been the issue more than anything this year for me.
It's a tightrope with Sir Anthony Dominguez. You don't know what you're going to get with him on a week-to-week basis. He can either be nails, or he's going to be like the floppy piece of shit, also known as Liam Hendricks, and only be able to close out games against really
Sir
bad
Anthony
teams.
Dominguez isn't getting reliever of the year, though. That's not happening this year for the man.
Well, you were hoping that Sir Anthony Dominguez was going to be something more at this stage, getting
biggest
closer
signing
to
we had
the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and you did need it. I mean, he has been useful in some instances, but not much.
Grant Taylor a lot better in save opportunities. Aroldis Chapman's available.
Yeah, so let's talk about the trade deadline next, Vince. What are we doing? Are we buyers? Are we buyers? Are we sellers? What are we doing? I feel like at this stage of the game, you got to look at being buyers.
We're aftermarket, though. We're not buying the brand new system of the guy like that's going to be, Tariq Skubal, for instance. We're not doing that. We're getting decently priced relief options, maybe a starter if there's one that comes out of the woodwork that's a little older that you don't need to trade everything for. I mean, they're in a spot where it's like, yeah, you're competing. You're one game up right now, but they're losing, so that could change. The AL is very weak, so the playoffs are an opportunity for them. You just have to realize the age of your team and the possibility of another half of season of baseball that may not go your way as much. Who knows? I'm not saying it. I don't want to put the Maloik on them, but like, you can't trade the whole future because Tristan Peters is hitting 290 this year, because Randall Grichuk's the best pinch hitter of all time. Like, they've been to the most extra inning games. They've won a lot of them, but it's not like they're blowing every team out. And, you have young pitchers. You have like Noah Schultz, for what it's worth. He hasn't been great. Like, he's 22, man. Like, Sean Burke's 26. Davis Martin's playing well, but you got to watch out for that.
What if you mortgage the future a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to look at a situation where I look at Noah Schultz or I look at Hagen Smith and say, we're in win now mode. I'm going to mortgage a scotch of the future. Well, Vince, we're a game ahead of the Guardians. Doesn't look like anybody is going to be coming from the bottom half of our division, with the Minnesota Twins being 4.5 out, and then the
They're
Tigers.
only 3 games out if we lose today, man. You know,
I get that, but then you also look at half of the division, and it's one series away of being different depending on the week. So as you get closer, and now you're getting Mooney back, you have to look at this whole thing and saying we are in win now mode. There's no real dedicated thought process that there is baseball next year. So if you are looking at it from a White Sox management side to say, all right, we're kind of in win now mode, happened quicker than we thought. But if you could go get a guy, to your point, like a Sonny Gray or somebody big, like Robbie Ray, there you go.
Give me an
Go
expiring contract, and we'll give you we'll give you our 12th prospect for an expiring contract, and we'll have him for half a year, and who knows what happens next year. That's where I'm at.
Well, I'm fearful you just don't let Bonnemer be touched. Bonnemer is leading most major or minor league statistics this season. And, granted, his cap is probably next year that he'll be up.
Yeah.
But you also look at the rest of it is like, okay, you also have Noah Schultz, who's going to be coming back here probably after the All-Star break, and then Hagen Smith, who was about to get called up and then had a setback with his shoulders. So,
I kind of want to see what we have a little bit. I don't want to. We've done this before, and it didn't look good. And I know you can't think about that when you do that stuff. It's just
the pitching is the biggest question mark right now. And if you could go get,
I don't think it's starting though.
No, I think it's starting.
Bullpen. I think it's our bullpen.
Dude, Robbie Ray has been nothing but nails for Boston this year. And then you look at Chapman. Do you look at Boston and say, hey, we've done trades for a long time. What if we maybe get something done?
Hey, you guys feel bad about that whole Meadroth trade? Maybe we'll figure something out here.
Hey, can we get Sonny Gray? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But I feel like you're buy now mode.
Yeah, but you're not brand new system, 8 years on a contract, buy now, give away 2 top prospects. Or are you?
It's a tough play.
If you're Boston, you traded for Garrett Crochet, and look how that worked out. 2 years later, and you're like, Jesus Christ, we're horrible.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, to your point, Sonny Gray's shoving this year for Boston and re-signed. That's a wonderful right-handed addition. Him and Nathan Smith in the same starting 5, just crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to overreact to. I mean, we've had good half years before, and it's gone downhill. I don't want to overreact to it to this level. That's just kind of where I'm at. But I mean, who knows? I mean, that's the thing. They got good pitching, but they can't hit for the life of them right now. Wilson Contreras has been good for them. Sonny Gray's been good. He's got 2.61. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it'd be fun to go get Aroldis Chapman, see what he can do in the back end of the bullpen, and not give up a lot because he's a 38-year-old closer.
Mortgage that guy because he's just going to be a rental.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe what is the asking price for Aroldis Chapman right now? That's the real question.
I don't know if you want to keep trading with Boston.
We won the last one.
We definitely won the last one, but they got us on the first one. And, from many articles, certain people were high on either Yohan Moncada or
Kopech.
It was Kopech, Yohan Moncada, and then Devers. Devers was a part of that system too.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were saying that the trade,
be a part of that trade.
Oh.
From what I've read, it was going to be a difference of Devers or Moncada. And
Moncada would have been good then, and Devers would have sucked because the White Sox.
Because the White Sox. Well,
yeah.
Vince, I'm very excited for it. It's been a long time since we've been leading a division going into an All-Star break. Yeah. And it's nice to see. But to your point, there's 2 halves of a season. We got to go win the second half. Now, a big part of winning that second half is going to be this lovely draft that we have on Saturday. I'm excited for this MLB draft, I think, more than any other. ever.
Before we hop into this, baby, the White Sox are taking Rock Chalowski.
I think it's a done deal.
There's a lot of smoke all over the place, and people have time and they got to write articles. And they're taking that catcher, they're taking Vance, they're taking that young 18-year-old shortstop. They're taking Rock Chalowski, and I think it's pretty simple and done. I think it is. Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it is right. It's just there's some guys in this draft that you look at it and there's some potential opportunity to say, okay, is this going to be the year that you just go with the top guy, but then Grady Emerson, an 18-year-old who hasn't played a day of college baseball, he just cemented himself atop Rock. Although everything you read about Rock Chalowski, A, the name just fits on the South Side.
Yeah.
B, from everything you hear, it just comes from an outstanding family and just a great
He's a
lineage
worker.
of people.
He's a grinder.
And he grinds.
Take him.
I think it's a no-brainer.
I think it is too. But hey, we only know so much, and our friend Donnie Marbut knows a lot. So we should just hop into that and let him tell us. So
without further ado, Mr. Donnie Marbut.
Welcome to the interview portion of today's episode. Today, we'd like to welcome back Donnie Marbut, 15-year college baseball head coach, Pac-12 network baseball analyst, president of the WCL, and current area scout for the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome back to the show, Donnie.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. We are on the precipice of the MLB draft coming up here, and who better to have on the show than a guy that knows way more than we do. And that is how I'd put you as well. So to start off here, it's been a couple years. It was 2 years ago, I think, that we had you on last. The draft is coming up. We have vested interest. Everybody that listens to this knows we're White Sox fans, and they're getting number one. You guys are picking 13, I believe, this year. This is your busy time, right? You're looking at, leading up to the draft. What does this time of year look like? Are you done with your job? Are you guys already all set, or are you in hyperdrive?
Well, just kind of, it all depends the organization that you work for and the role that you have. My role with our organization is a little bit different than maybe some of our other area scouts, because I do a lot of stuff on the pro side of things, on the on the minor league side. So, where I fly out to St. Louis tomorrow for the draft, but our scouting director, Randy Flores, and Zach Mortimer, kind of our new assistant scouting director, Flo's been our scouting director, and we've had some reshuffle, but so Mort's taking over that part of it now too as well, and they're putting boards together. They are doing a lot of the heavy lifting from the area perspective. You turn your reports in. We've had our calls on our players in our area in particular. So kind of on the amateur side, I kind of feel like hay's in the barn when it comes to my job. So like I said, I'll go out and see amateur guys for the following year. Like last week, I saw some amateur guys for 27 and 28, and then I spent a lot of time doing minor league stuff. So kind of depends what you do, but yeah, for the most part, the last couple of weeks, the amateur side's kind of been done for me.
Okay. Yeah, so you're taking it easy now. That rocks.
I wish.
Yeah,
I wish
right
the minor
on.
league coverage. Sometimes the minor league coverage can be more difficult than the amateur coverage, just because on the minor league side you're evaluating all the players, and then on the amateur side, as we know, with only 20 rounds and very few high school players get drafted nowadays, on the amateur side, your focus is a lot more, most often on the 4-year college type of thing, especially in the area that I'm at.
Sure. I get it.
Interesting.
Awesome.
So to kind of elaborate a little bit further on that, Donnie, would you say at this stage of the game of where you are in the year, are you looking at more existing talent within the St. Louis Cardinals system? Or are you looking at all talent across the country, or specifically just in your region of the Pacific Northwest and in that upper portion of Canada?
Yeah, on the amateur side, basically what I'll do right now on the amateur side is you're starting your follows for the 2027 grads or the 2028. So that's who you're really kind of you're focused on right now to see who you're going to see in the spring. On the pro side, I have some people do a lot, like when people are pro scouts, a lot of them will have an organization. So it's to say, hey, I've got the somebody has the Dodgers, the entire organization. Well, I cover more in the Northwestern League. So I cover the Northwest League and part of the PCL, which is the AAA League. So it kind of all depends how your organization does it. I've got good friends in the scouting world that they don't do any pro stuff. They just are completely amateurs, as in evaluating amateur players. So it kind of depends on the organization that you work for and the role that you have.
Okay. Very, very interesting. I wanted to kind of touch on a couple different things, Donnie. So over the past couple years, baseball's changed significantly with this whole ABS system that they've now deployed. Does that change the perspective of how you scout, say, a catcher, of a guy who maybe knows his zone better than most, or a hitter? So somebody who you're looking at this from a different angle than you used to, right? I mean, of course, all tools that you want for a prospective player to be a part of the Cardinals organization. But these are things that as technology is progressing, the game is progressing, things are changing. Does this change anything for you as how you approach scouting new talent?
Oh, I mean, a little bit. Obviously, as an organization, we all have a model, and there's things that we look for in certain, things, whether it's, in zone swing rate or chase percentages and all those types of things, right? We all look for what we look for. But some of this added technology, especially, I think, honestly, I think you brought up catching, right? So obviously it's a defensive position, right? But, you used to want that catcher that can really, really steal strikes. Well, now you've got some video that calls it a ball or calls it a strike. So, I mean, I wouldn't look at it that way and say, hey, I don't care about the catcher's defense now because of this system. But it can sway your thought a little bit on, what's being evaluated and how you can evaluate it. And I think, like anything, all these tools, as a scout, you need to use them as kind of your own toolbox, right? You can use all these different systems to make your evaluation on the player. But once again, the organization, that they value players differently, and the St. Louis Cardinals are going to evaluate maybe a player differently than the Chicago White Sox would evaluate a player. But ultimately, I get hired to give my organization, my opinion on players, and each of us do it a little bit differently. I've got great friends in the organization, and when we're talking pitching, there's always a couple guys I talk to because I love to hear their perspective on pitching. Same thing on offensive players, and there's guys outside my network, outside the organization that I respect tremendously. That honestly, when you brings up catching, right, I always call a certain guy that's been in the game a long time when it comes to catching, if he knows any familiarity with that player, because I trust his opinion tremendously.
Do you have a positional specialty, or is it pitchers, relief, starting, field, everything across the board?
Well, when you're scouting, at our organization, you cover the area. So you're watching players, no matter what position that they play. When I was a college coach, I was a former middle infielder as a college player, and I've always ran the offense. So when I was a coach at the college level, I ran the offense. But I've always been so intrigued by pitching, and pitching is something that I tend to love to watch good pitching more than anything. So, but like I said, there are some organizations that have maybe some scouts say, hey, he's the national pitching guy, where this guy will go in a certain organization and he will watch the top pitchers across the country. A friend of mine that's now back on the college side, he was at one time, he worked for a club, and all he did was go watch the top hitters in the country from the offensive standpoint. But that's just not how we do things. We have an area, and you're going to evaluate pitching, catching, infield, outfield play, hitters, everybody in your area you're going to evaluate. It doesn't matter the position that he plays.
Cool. Okay. So we went to, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but we went to Driveline out in Arizona. We got a chance to go see the Traject system. As a fan, you're like, all right, this is how they see it. They go out and watch them play. And, you can have live pitching at any time at this point, and being able to watch people at a crazier clip than before. With technology such as this, have you seen a change in your position as you've done it? Or is this kind of like, hey, this is just another piece that we have, but I want to watch live at bats. I want to see what they're doing against real pitching?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a factor for sure. You want to look at, exit velocity and how the body moves, and Driveline's done a fantastic job of that, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they can break things down, and their video, the package that they can put together for you is really, really astonishing, right? And once again, it's part of your tool set. I think you can get in trouble when you're just watching workouts or you're just watching video. I tend to trust my eyes more, and I have more conviction when I see players live, but I can't tell you that I see all players live. And each organization weighs it a little bit differently. Some organizations are going to weigh your video report a little bit less than maybe your in-person report or somebody that you've seen X amount of times, because some guys are workout guys. We've all seen that. We've seen a guy that can really, really fill up the strike zone in a bullpen, or a guy can really square up balls. But once that umpire is behind him and they got those people in the stands, it changes a lot. But it doesn't mean that you can't get a lot out of evaluating a player when he's in those types of environments.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, even when we were looking at it too, they let us stand in the batter's box. I'm like, man, I'm glad I quit in high school, because there's no way I would have been able to hit him anyway. But it's a really interesting tool to have.
So, Donnie, looking at this year and the top prospects moving into the draft, the 5 top prospects in this draft are seemingly middle infielders out of the top 10 prospects in this top 10. Our general feeling on the podcast, and we talk about this a lot, is shortstops are usually the best athletes on the team as far as a overall. Now, is there an argument to be made that you just draft them just to draft them regardless of the need? Or is there a value over taking based off need or the best overall position?
It all depends kind of where you're picking at, right? At the top of the draft, most often, that's why usually if it's a high school player, that organization needs to, a couple things, needs to think, is he a generational talent? Right? Because no matter what, it's going to take some time for that high school player to get there. Or could they sign him for cheaper, right? Could they get a discount on him and use that money somewhere else, right? So, but most often when you're drafted at the top of the draft, you're trying to get someone to get there quicker. That's why most college guys go, overall, unless they're generational type guys, they go quicker because those guys are closer to the big leagues. So it's a timing thing. It's if let's say the White Sox had a shortstop right now that they loved, right, but he had 3 or 4 more years, you'd probably, you might favor the high school kid over the college guy because the college guy is closer. He's closer to that starting that big league time. So it's a big league roster thing. It's a philosophy from your organization, where they're at, where they are at money wise. Do you have other multiple picks, right? Do you, maybe sometimes a guy might have that first round pick, but they might not have that second round pick because they used it. They signed a free agent, right? So they lost that second round pick. So not only now does that first round pick really need to hit because they're not going to have somebody drafted within the first 3 rounds, right? So there's just it all depends who you're dealing with. So I just kind of look at our organization, and of course we know who's picking at the top of the draft, but I kind of just look at my organization that I get to work for and say, okay, these are our picks. How's it going to look? How's it going to look for the Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, if they're athletes too, they're athletes at the end of the day. If they can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your best players at the high school, and I mean, best players usually, no matter what, they're going to be up the middle. And there's no mistake this year. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about, one of the number 1 picks going to be a high school shortstop or a college shortstop, right? And obviously, a lot of people are talking about Rock, and a lot of people are talking about Grady. I've got to see Rock live, and I've got to see Grady on video, and both fantastic players. Those guys are fantastic players. And, I'm quite sure whatever organizations those guys end up with, those organizations will be really, really happy.
Yeah. And I'm glad you kind of got into it too. So as you said, more college guys are getting drafted over high school guys. We've seen it kind of a mix in the past, and it seemed consensus for a while that Rock Chalowski was the guy, the number 1, all of these things. And then, like I said, we've been watching it with the Hawkeye saying, hey, Grady Emerson's kind of making his way up there. People are even saying, like, Van Lackey out of Georgia Tech, he went crazy. I mean, 1.297 OPS and 20 home runs at Georgia Tech, there's nothing to turn your head at. How do you kind of perceive that? And you kind of answered it a little bit, but, are you always going to go for, hey, this is a generational prospect, coming out of high school, you have to grab him, and I want to see him in the minor leagues for a while? Or is there something where it says, even if we're not competing next year, I need this guy. I need to get this college guy, and he needs to come in and work for us right away.
Yeah, my guess is most often for the, if that high, like I said, we talked about people usually picking up the top of the draft just because maybe the wins-loss record is not where they want, right? So they're trying to get better at the big league level quicker. That's why they go with those college players. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You don't know, right? You don't know who likes who. I mean, look at our guy, JJ Weatherholt. I mean, he slid to 7, but he also got hurt his junior year, and hey, he might be the best player in that draft this year. So, like I said, and maybe if he was healthy, maybe the draft would have still went the way it went. I have no idea. So I think it's really more it's organizational driven of what they're trying to accomplish. Because, like I said, we're not in those other rooms. I have no idea what those guys have to do. But usually, most often, if you look at the high school guys that have been taken at with that first pick, it's a guy that they think can be, fairly quick to get up there within 2 to 3 years. They get up there by the time they're 20, 21 years old and be there for 10 years and usually at a premium position.
Do you see a benefit in going through the college season and playing against better players versus going through the minor leagues and maybe not playing in, like, say you're going to Omaha and you're playing in some real competition and you get to watch them throughout that versus high school where you're like, you're going to be playing in single double A, and that maybe doesn't have the same stakes as a college World Series. Is there a benefit in that as well with the player coming up?
Yeah, I mean, but you can say both sides of it. The college benefit, you're going to say you get to play against maybe better competition, supposedly, maybe in bigger environments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also got to go to class and you got to do all these other things, right? When you're a professional baseball player, maybe the benefits for you to, hey, I want to start my career. Every day it's about baseball for me. I lift, I eat, I breathe it. That's all that we do. And we might play in different types of parks. So I think it's player driven. For the most part. I mean, some guys are really, really ready to go out. Some guys lack the maturity to go out. Some guys maybe lack the physicality to go out. So, sometimes they just don't know what they truly don't know yet. So I just thought, I just had talked to an agent prior to getting on with you guys, and I'm never going to tell a guy you need to sign. That's heck no. The last thing you want to do is convince him to sign. You want that kid, if he's going to sign his contract, go ahead and go. I mean, a quick story for you. I signed a kid that we lost, I forget what year it was, but when I was a college coach, we signed him and he was a sandwich pick. Like, I think he was the 52nd pick in the draft by the Phillies. So it's $1 million, right? And that's a lot of money. I get it. And I didn't think he'd sign. He signed. And then I saw him about 3.5, 4 months later, and he was like, "Coach, I should have never signed." I was like, "No, don't talk like that, man. You're in it now. Like, you've already made those decisions. So, you got to put your mind in the right spot. And if a guy doesn't sign a contract and he goes to college, he needs to have 2 feet in at college, right? He just needs to be all in there. So I think players become the players they can be, and they can reach their ceiling at both levels, and whether it's professional baseball or college baseball. But you've got to be all in where you're at. Like, you don't want to be that guy that, hey, I should have signed, or the other guy I shouldn't sign, right? Because you're always going to I think you're going to hurt your development a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really good segue, Donnie, because I wanted to kind of touch on how do you handle evaluating and developing a young player who clearly maybe has all the physical tools, but struggles when he reaches the next levels of like a farm system. Like, how do you work with that? Like, in my eyes, like, just let's stay on the Cardinals for a minute. If I look at like Jordan Walker, his first 2 years in the league, he couldn't hit a breaking ball. Now the guy's one of the top right fielders in all the game. So how do you handle evaluating either the ceiling of a player or the floor of a player?
Well, you're evaluating the tools first and foremost, right? That's no matter what people will say, it's makeup, this and that. They're gonna evaluate the physical tools first, because if you don't have the physical tools, you're gonna have a hard time playing professional baseball, right? Well, but when you start talking about the intangibles that are going to allow people to reach their ceiling with their tools, right? And usually the emotional maturity is going to be huge for a high school player, right? Because he's going to have to be driven, right? He's going to have to be mature. He's going to have, and I think one of the biggest problems with the high school players are, especially they get drafted at that highest level, they've been stars, right? I mean, they're great players, or you wouldn't be giving these guys $1 million. Jordan's killing it now, going to play in the All-Star game. And I can't tell you that I know George Walker. He's in our organization, and I know our organization loves him. But when he did fail a little bit early, can't blame him. Do you think he ever failed in his life? That guy never failed in high school. I mean, that's why that guy was a first round pick. These guys, and it beats you up. I learned that as a college coach, where certain guys that would go out that I like, man, this guy's real. There's a couple guys in particular that I had. I'm like, man, this guy's really physically gifted, but the failure gets to him. Not that he's not soft. He's not tough. It just would eat him alive when he would get out. And when you're 21 and 22 after your college career and you're still struggling with that, that's a problem, right? And sometimes college coaches, they create that, because college baseball, as you guys know, it's win-win-win every single day. It's all about winning at the low minor league level. That's why kids can get through that sometimes, because you don't really have to win at the minor league level for the most part, right? You can struggle, and those high picks and guys that the organizations have invested a lot of money, those guys are playing. Well, when you get to the big leagues, right, then that light gets really bright on you, right? And you can't just sit up there. They just don't let you sit up there and fail tons and tons and times in the big leagues. They're going to replace you, right? So it kind of depends where you're at. So, and when you're evaluating that high school player, just know he's got to have some maturity and some toughness about him, or professional baseball will just eat him up. Because it doesn't matter how good you are. The greatest players, like, look at Derek Jeter. I mean, Derek Jeter made ding near 60 years his first season in professional baseball, and we're talking about a first ballot Hall of Fame type guy. And he was a first rounder. I think he was the 6th overall pick by the Yankees out of high school, and he failed a ton as his first year out. It wasn't like Derek Jeter failed that much in high school, because if he did, he wouldn't have been a first round pick.
You see that in a lot of sports too. It's because even Peyton Manning broke the record for interceptions, and then he comes out and has one of the best quarterback careers of all time as well. It's across. You kind of got to learn how to fail, and even like in basketball and all that things too, you see the same thing where it's, hey, they've scored 40 points every single game and no one could guard them. Now someone can. How do they react to that?
Yeah, that's the best thing about baseball. I think that there is that minor league system, because I always have this story. When I was coaching at Washington State, I sat one time and I talked to Drew Bledsoe, and everybody was, Drew was at this event, and great guy. He's a great human being. And everybody's talking about being the first pick in the draft. He goes, yeah, it's really great for financial reasons. He goes, but why did they have the first pick? He asked the group, and the group's like, well, because they stink. And they go, yeah, exactly why. And why does teams usually stink? They usually stink because they don't have an offensive line. So it's like, that's great. You're 21 years old. You have all these millions of dollars, but now you're the savior, right? Same thing in basketball. When the guys are really, when they pick first, usually because it's a bad team surround them. So all of a sudden now you have all that pressure on that number one pick. Baseball is a little bit different. That person's always going to have that, that stigma about being the pick. He's going to have that shine on him a little bit, but very well, it doesn't happen at all. How many times you've seen a guy just get drafted and go straight to the big leagues? Just doesn't happen. It happens occasionally. And sometimes exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it can be a benefit because you didn't have to go through the struggles, but sometimes guys get rushed and then they're at that big league level really, really soon, and they don't know how to react, right? So then they got to get sent back down. And then when they get sent back down, then now they're questioning themselves. Hey, am I good enough to play at that level? So there's a lot of different factors that go into it, right? So, but it's great to be that prospect, but there's one of those things always, be careful what you wish for.
Double-edged sword. Yeah, you get the money, but you also get the expectations. Yes, sir.
Yeah. How much of it, I guess, in my mind, it just kind of leads me to another question. Once you guys identify the player, now they're in the organization. After they're in, how hands-on are you as individuals in the scouting department for that player's development? Or do you just hand it off to the player development side and coaching and all of it? Because the Cardinals have always seemingly had one of the best minor league systems in all of baseball, and that's a consistency over almost 20 plus years now. Is it just a specific ideology of player development? Because on the flip side, like the White Sox, for example, we couldn't develop a shoe. So it's one of these things where I want your perspective on, after you take that player, then is it just hands off, I'm on to the next thing, or is it a general responsibility, almost like a quota, that the guy I said to pick is going to be with me forever.
Yeah. So what we did we've added some things. Like I said, we have a new, so Randy Flores has been our scouting director, but he's also been the head of pro and amateur. So we have a new director, kind of head of the amateur side, and then someone that's, I think we call it pro acquisition on the amateur side and pro acquisition on the pro side. So with new people coming in, Joe Douglas on the pro side and Zach Mortimer. Zach Mort has been with us as a national guy, but now he's our scout head of amateur scouting. They've brought in some new ideas and some things. So we've done some testing, we've done some things, and got some added information about our players we're evaluating, so that when we do sign them, our player development has a little bit more clear picture of what they're about, how they've trained, who they've trained with, all those types of things. But after that, you kind of hand them off, right? I mean, we try to share the same language, and I'll tell you this, and I'm really glad that you said about the Cardinals. We've always had kind of they've been that gold standard for development. And until Hein came in, our new president, Hein Bloom, there's been a big shakeup on our player development side, but more not shakeup, but a negative side, an additional side. We have a new farm director. We have a new VP. Rob was with us right now, and Larry Day is our new farm director. So we've gotten a big influx of people on the player development side, and we've got new roles on the player development side that we've never had in the past. So more employees, right? We can work more with guys. So there's great synergy amongst the Cardinals on our player development side, our scouting side. That's also worked with strength and conditioning, nutrition, you name it. It's all a holistic group of rapport where we all kind of work together. But with that said, Vince, like after we sign them and we pass them on, we don't have a lot of information, a lot of dialogue. I'll text the guys, you brought up Peyton Graham. Hey, good luck, man. We know when they're going to start and they're going to pitch. You kind of become fans of them, right? I'm fans of all the guys in our organization, whether we sign them from my area or not. I'm just fans of the Cardinals players. We want them all to play well. So, but like you said, it's kind of a handoff, and they talk a little bit. Sometimes if kids struggle, we might get a call and say, hey, man, he's going through this. Anything that you know about him that could help with that.
Okay. That's okay. So take us to the draft room, right? So obviously the Moneyball scene, and everybody's like, I like this guy. Arguments, take my guy, all this stuff. One, how real is that? I can't believe that it is, but how does it look after you have all those guys down? Hey, this is where I rank them. They're going to take who they want to take based on organizational need. Do you guys all walk in there and say, these are the guys that I want? And how does that kind of get fledged out like that?
I think our organization at the top end from the scouting, they want your opinion, and they want you to feel good about, your job. But, there's, most organizations do it the same. You've got a scouting director, and you have 3 or 4 guys that are called national guys that are below them. And then you'll have cross-checkers that like our cross-checkers, our West Coast cross-checkers named Scott Cousins, former big leaguer with the Marlins, great guy. And so Scott, he manages our Northern Cal scout, our Northwest scout, our 2 Southern California scouts, and our 4 corner scouts. So he'll have his area ranked from 1 to whatever number he has. The regional guys have their as well, but then the national guys, they're looking at the top X amount of guys. So, you have an idea of kind of where the board lies, but really the national guys and the scouting directors and those guys have a way better feel than the area guys, because, you're going to hear about the famous names, but I'm going to really have a way better idea, and only an idea, of the guys in my area. And they'll give us a kind of a feel, when you talk about players enough, or you've met with them at the combine, there's certain guys that I know that our organization probably likes a little bit better, especially being in the organization as long as I have. We have a model, right? And there's certain things in our model that, I won't give away our model, but there's certain things in our model that, allows us or makes us like players a certain, maybe better than some other types of players. So, like I said, each organization is doing a little bit differently, but it's not like, right before the draft, they're talking about guys, whether they like this guy or don't like this guy. They're just setting up a board right now of like, hey, and most often it's best position player, best player available, but there's also signability, right? And now with high school guys, they've got the leverage with this NIL thing, right? And all the transfer portal, certain guys have leverage, right? So it's a lot more difficult job than people think, especially for the scouting director of making that pick, because it's not just next guy up. There's no, in NFL and NBA, there's no more leverage, right? They're signing, right? When the guys go in the draft in NFL and NBA, they're signing. Our guys, you can ask them to, they can say, I'll sign. And majority of the time, I mean, I'd say 90% of the time when somebody is drafted, they'll sign. They've agreed on that, but sometimes things get messed up there too. So it's not easy, and it's not an exact science, and each team does it a little bit differently. And I think our team does a great job, but I don't know how others teams do it, to be honest with you. And I appreciate the Cardinals; they bring us back, right? I mean, we come back. Some organizations, they don't have their entire organization part of it. We do. Like our groups there, the analytic department's there. We even have people from player development there. So and when it comes to the Cardinals, it's important, and it's a group wide decision.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I feel like too, it's, you could be like, oh, this guy's good at baseball. Like, if you're going to go see Rock Chalowski and be like, hey, this guy's good at baseball. Well, yeah, like I think we all kind of know that, So is there a spot there, when you get into round 5, 6, 7, is that where the value lies more so than, say, in round 1 when you're picking 5th overall? You kind of know who some of those good guys are. Where does the value kind of come in there?
Well, I mean, obviously, the higher you draft, the higher the pick, the more money you're spending on that pick, right? So, I mean, you want to hit on your first round picks. I mean, that's just because that's where, that's your ROI, is right there. But you want to get wins in the draft, right? As you go, and it all depends how the draft looks. Sometimes, right, there might be the first 5 picks, like everybody knows those first 5 guys are without a doubt. Well, then you could go pick 6 through 20, where there's 35 guys that could go in that, in that area. And sometimes, right, you'll zig when the industry is zagging, right? You might like somebody differently, than somebody else does for whatever reason, right? For the most part, I mean, they're all going to kind of be in a certain group, but I think that's just, like, once again, eyes in the beauty of the beholder, right? It all depends, how you're looking at it. I mean, you look at us and you think we like pitching a lot because we've signed a lot of left-handed college pitching, but were we trying to fill that need? Was it the next available player? Was it signability? All those things factor in.
I think of Jacob Mizorowski too with that too, because he went a little bit later than people thought he was going to. He's top 3, if not number 1 in the league now for, starting pitching. And the stories around it, and I could be wrong, but the stories around it is like he's probably a reliever, the way he throws the ball. He has a lot of gas to him. Don't know if he's going to be a starter. And then he has like a classic Greg Maddux complete game the other day. And you're like, how does this guy even do it? So it's not an exact science, right? And it's not, you look at it the way that you look at it and however everybody values it. But looking at a guy like that, like, you never even know if a guy in the 2nd or the 3rd round is going to end up being the best player on your team,
Well, and the Brewers didn't either. It's funny. I talked to a good friend of mine today with the Brewers that coaches on their big league staff and used to be a field coordinator for them. And I mean, he said it exactly. He goes, we thought he was going to be that. He'd be the first pick in the draft. Nobody thought that. He got bigger and stronger, and he got coached up, and it clicked for him, right? So unbelievable value right there. I don't know what they gave him. I want to say he was a 6th round pick, I think. I don't know.
He was later. I don't know exactly why, but he was later.
And but I don't know about his college numbers, I don't know any of those types of things, but there's always different types of values at certain times. And like, you'll see that a lot at the top of the draft. Sometimes a guy like where you guys are picking, right? Sometimes a guy that maybe is not considered number 1, it's easy to think this, if somebody that hasn't been talked about 1 or 2, right, in that draft, and they pick that guy, the baseball guy instantly is going to say, hey, they cut a deal with him, right? They cut a deal. They took $1.5 million, $2 million less, so they could use $2 million on their. I talked to a guy in an organization one time and said they took a big time discount on their first round pick, so that they could kind of get like 3 second round picks when it comes to the money, right? So there's different ways that guys do things like that for sure.
So, Donnie, the last time we talked, it was the 2024 draft, and hindsight being 2020. That draft is now being noted as one of the best over the past decade. Was there a moment in time during that process of that year of scouting for you looking back where you're like, this might be one of the better classes I've ever scouted? Because I remember specifically you called out Travis Bassana. I know he was arguably the top rated prospect in that draft either way, but still something you called out. But you look at guys like Nick Kurtz, JJ Weatherholt, Braden Montgomery. Was that something that in your mind sticks out as a draft, and do other years stick out like that where you look back and say, wow, that's exactly what we're looking for in future drafts? Or how do you take that on?
Well, once again, on the amateur side, I'm just our area, right? So I don't get to see the rest of the country on a consistent basis. I get to watch video, I get to read. At times, I get to watch certain guys outside my area, but I don't get, that would be a better question for one of our national guys, because our national guys, they get to see the entire country. But with that said, that we knew that 24 class, that was a college bat heavy guys that it was a pretty consistent feeling that they thought Weatherholt and Bazzana, and Kurtz and guys like that, they thought for sure there was guys that could go and hit in the big leagues, not instantly, but really quickly. Right now, if you just hear the pundits, a lot of people are talking about this is a heavy high school, like there's some top end high school pitching and top high school bats potentially in this class. But once again, that might just be from some organizations that speak a little bit louder, right? For the most part. Once again, I look back at just our 2024 pick, JJ Weatherholt. I think we took him at 7th in the draft that year. And arguably, he might be the best player in that draft. Bazzana went one, and Travis is doing Travis. And I'll give you a quick story. I'm on the call with my organization, and I'm talking about Travis because he's in my area, right? And I don't know JJ Weatherholt. I didn't get to watch him. Well, I got to be on the call where they were talking about him, and as I'm listening to the people in our organization talk about this guy, I'm thinking, man, they're just talking about Travis Bazzana, but he's a shortstop instead of a second baseman. I mean, the way how much I love Travis Bazzana, like all the intangibles. So I get off the call going, well, shoot, man, like maybe JJ Weatherholt's the best guy in the draft. The only thing I can evaluate is the guys that are in my area. So, and now you look at it, who knows? I mean, they're both. Travis is in the All-Star game. JJ's right there, right? So it looks like both clubs were probably really, really happy with the picks that they have. But once again, maybe does that thing switch if JJ doesn't miss half his junior year? No clue. Maybe it gets drafted the same exact way. But there definitely was a consensus theme that year that there were some high-end college bats.
This year, there's a good mix of both. It seems like, so you're obviously on the West Coast. Seems like there's a lot of people, at least in the top 10, top 15 here, that are in your area. They're looking like, primed from college or from high school. I kind of want to talk some sleepers. Are there some guys you saw this year where you're like, hey, this guy might be a little bit better than we think he is?
Any names in particular?
Well, okay, so, and I don't know exactly where you cover, obviously, but Jackson Flora is a big one that people are talking about. He's a big 6'5" guy out of UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to see him, or I don't know how to say Jared Grindlinger, I think it is, Huntington Beach, 17, 6'3", and 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Flora, first off, let's talk about UCSB and Andrew Checketts, right? I think, Flora goes in the first 5 picks. I think that's about 3 or 4 top 5 picks from UCSB. You want to get a really good baseball coach on this deal, get Andrew Checketts on here. He's done a phenomenal job. So, but Flora, it sounds like if, in the publications have him as maybe the top college arm out there. I haven't seen him live. I've seen him on video up to 100. It's loose. It's easy. He throws multiple pitches for strikes. He's projectable. Like he's super lean and thin. So there's a lot of projection. So yeah, you can dream on him for days, right?
Are you seeing guys that are just is everybody throwing 100? Seems like everybody I see now is just throwing 100 miles per hour.
I wouldn't say everybody's throwing 100, but everyone's throwing harder. The velocity it's amazing how hard guys throw. It's just, some of us were asking what he touched 105 the other day. When does it stop? I wonder when the velocity will stop. But the training's so good, the coaching is so good, the dedication, the intent of the athlete is so good. But it does have to eventually stop. I
want to
don't know
see a
how
Tim Wakefield. I want to see another one of those
Yeah.
come out
Yeah.
here.
I get it, man. It's amazing. But no, he's a good one. And you brought Gummer, like that's a different story, right? He's a guy that's reclassified, right? So
Yeah.
maybe guys didn't have as many looks as, when you're watching him play, I guarantee when he reclassed and all the clubs, every major league team had to change their vision, right? Because you're watching this guy for a year down the road potential. Well, now shoot, he reclassed, and we gotta make a decision on that guy in 4 months. So these are all the little things that happen.
He's listed as a pitcher and an outfielder. It's like, what are you going to do with
Yes.
them? Do
Yeah,
both
so
at
then
the
you
same
got-
time.
Yeah, you got another evaluation, and do we send him out as a pitcher and a hitter? Do we send him out? Now that there is a guy down in LA right now doing it pretty good offensively and pitching wise.
Oh, never heard of
everybody, everybody thinks they can do it, but I don't. I think people should temper their expectations, even for a guy like that, because Ohtani might be a once in a lifetime generational talent.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Modern day Babe Ruth, one could argue. Well, we really appreciate your time, Donnie, to kind of wrap things up. Is there anybody in particular inside the Cardinal organization that you are specifically high on, that if you are a Cardinal fan, you look at this and you're like, okay, this is a guy to pay attention to? Some guys who come to mind are like Joshua Baez. I think he has more multi-home run games over the past month than any minor league player in like a decade. And then you also have a very stacked catching lineup in your top 10 prospects in the organization now. Is there somebody that maybe we'll be seeing here sooner rather than later that you may have eyes on?
In our organization right now, I think, like I said, the West Coast has done a really nice job on some pitching. Quinn Matthews is a left-hander out of Stanford that's a couple years into pro. He's taken off, and Eshawn Henderson from Fresno State. And there's a lot of West Coast pitching arms. Brian Motts that's up there. There's a lot of guys from the West Coast on the pitching side of things that are really kind of getting close to knock on the door. So, but just hopeful for any of the Cardinal prospects. Hopefully, stay healthy. It was great that you guys brought up Peyton Graham. I got to give he's a kid that we took last year, and our scouting director Zach Mortimer, he deserves all the credit in the world for that. He loved he loved everything about him, and they take a risk, because there's no guarantees when guys get hurt that they're going to come back. They feel pretty good about it. Our docs look at things, and the guys that have done the Tommy John have come back pretty healthy. But a guy like Peyton Graham, I think that's credit to Zach and what he did and the organization. And Cole, I'm just bringing up Zach because I know he was a strong believer in Peyton and so obviously, guys that are in your backyard, you want them to have success. But just, the guy I'm excited about for the Cardinals, the next man up, man, the next man up that can go to Busch Stadium and help us win a pennant. That's my new favorite guy.
Hey, they're on the current road to doing that right now, having a hell of a year already. So things are looking.
They really
good.
are. They're doing a great. Yeah, they're doing a great job. And man, I'm really impressed with our president Heim. He's fantastic. He brings this great just a great feel and energy to any type of our meetings, and our player development and our data analytics and the scouting. Everybody's working really hard to just to work together, and that's fun. Like I think that was the thing I missed the most about coaching was being a part of a team. And what we're trying to do, you can tell we're really trying to be a part of a team. So that's definitely exciting to be a part of.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming back on, man. We can't thank you enough. And
sick interview. What a guy.
Man's a legend.
What a guy. He knows more than I can forget, and it's amazing. Looking forward to the draft happening this weekend. Fingers crossed.
Fun fact. Donnie Marbut is the youngest Pac-12 head baseball coach in history.
No kidding.
He became the Washington State head baseball coach at 30 years old.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine me last year trying to coach a team. God, no. Yeah, again, he knows more than I'll ever forget. But
15 years, most wins in program history for Washington State. Guys,
certified badass.
Guy's kind of a legend. We thank you. So Vince,
a legend,
the NBA. Tell me who's a legend in the NBA.
In New York? You know who else is a legend in New York?
Who runs New York?
Jalen Brunson runs New York. Jalen
How
Brunson
many kids
today.
can be named Jalen?
More. They're going to multiply it, even though there's already a lot. Jalen Brunson underwent surgery today to repair an injury on his left forearm wrist area. Will be recovering for at least 2 months. He'll be fine for the season. He played through discomfort for all of this throughout the entire playoffs. Badass. Didn't say a word about it. Just went out there, won a
They
chip.
don't make him like him no more.
No.
That's all I got. Guy's one of my favorites to do it. And he's kind of oddly getting you very into Knicks basketball, and
They're fun,
for
man.
them.
It's a fun team.
They won a cup.
They lost Mitchell Robinson, so maybe probably won't win next year. Or they'll make more free throws. I don't know how that's going to work, but
All right. Do you feel like, here's a question. Do you feel like people overreact year after year that, hey, championship teams, you're going to get a little dismantled. It's not going to be the same group of guys year after year after year, especially in the NBA with the salary cap and all the things that go with it.
yeah, and how many trades happen. Yeah. I mean, but also, like, their core, Mitchell Robinson wasn't even starting at center. Their core is locked up for at least, I think, 2 more years. So you're going to have Hart, you're going to have Brunson, you're going to have Bridges, you're going to have Towns. Like, they're going to be back.
And they develop talent there. I think they'll be just fine. It's not necessarily about just throwing money at stuff.
But hey, when Boston won,
coach to do it.
They're going to win again. When OKC won, they're going to win again. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see, of all open-ended seasons, like, it really felt like it was the Thunder again. But, they get hurt, right? So you lose some key pieces to that team down a stretch run against a very good Spurs team. And the Knicks were kind of the kryptonite. You love to see it because I'm sick of
bringing a cool ass team and not all these these crazy young dudes. Bring me that cool team that all worked together and they won. Speaking of the Spurs, they're out of the LeBron James sweepstakes.
He's going back to Cleveland.
The report said the Spurs are good. They got their LeBron James. You want to know who that was? Not Wemby.
Who?
It's Tobias Harris. They got Tobias Harris. They're like, we don't need LeBron.
Tobias Harris has made more money than I'm sure most people have made in a lifetime, and he's never won a ship, which is fine.
He's like Kirk Cousins, man.
LeBron goes back. There's not a doubt in my mind. LeBron
there or the Warriors. That's where I'm at. But I guess the Sixers are really pushing for it. So, speaking of the Cavaliers, though, sorry, go ahead. You have something to say?
What are the Sixers going to do with LeBron James when you have a ball dominant forward already?
It kind of rules though. Just whatever. Dude, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. Crazy I put VJ Edgecombe first. Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Joel Embiid. I forgot who's playing for them. That's still insane. And then they have a bench.
Two guys for half of the season that don't play in LeBron James and Joel Embiid.
LeBron played almost all year last year.
Yeah, that's like the
and
first
the year
time
before. He doesn't get that injured. He doesn't get that injured.
I'm not saying it's the injuries, it's the load management and the bullshit.
That's true. But I mean, if Embiid's the fourth option, like they might have a squad. We'll see. He has to sign low though, because Donovan Mitchell agrees on a 4-year, $273 million maximum contract extension with a player option for 2030, 31, and a full trade kicker. Full trade kicker. What does that mean?
Don't know what that means.
Fuck if I know. That's just
what's a trade kicker?
I don't know.
What is a full
lot of money?
I'm googling it. What is a full
trade kicker in the NBA?
Kicker? Contractual clause in NBA player's contract that pays the player a financial bonus if they are traded, often included a star player extension. Wow, they really went to the bank with this.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
They want to keep their man. They want to keep their man for a couple more years. If he goes to Cleveland, it might be fun.
That would only happen in the NBA.
Well, it's because everybody, dude.
Only happen.
What sport trades more than the NBA? Baseball doesn't.
Maybe baseball.
That's the only comparison I can think of. The NFL definitely doesn't. Everybody's getting boom. 1 second ago, Karis LeVert gets traded and 2 second-round picks to Milwaukee for Torian Prince and Gary Harris. Random ass trades all over the place, all the time.
There's a lot of shuffling of the decks. I'm excited for the Bulls, though. They seemingly have a roster that looks halfway decent.
Summer League starting up today. I'm going to watch the Bulls. I'm going to watch Caleb Wilson play a little bit. We'll see what happens. Tiago Splitter, we trust.
In Tiago Splitter, we trust. Vince, in brief.
Oh, my God. The obligatory, yeah.
Come on. It's sports related.
And sort of.
We got to talk. Vince.
It's sports related because Travis Kelce
got married.
MSG. Yes, he did. And Adam Sandler married him, and then he sang, and they thought it was funny. And Paul McCartney did I Want to Hold Your Hand for the first time in 30 years because Taylor Swift asked him to. Who cares? Don't get married at MSG. Like, dude, this is so insane that they made it a whole thing. They're like, don't tell anybody about it. Don't get married at the Mecca of basketball then. Like, what are we doing?
Do you know that, like, people went to this event just to stand outside of it? Like, people, like, took off days of work and went to do this.
Brother, when she did her tour and we're at Soldier Field, there were people waiting in insane lines, like holding up traffic and shit to get merch from the tour. She's a whole different lexicon of human being, and it is crazy, and I don't get it.
I truly believe that, like, there's something nefarious behind the scenes. Like, she's like a witch or some shit.
Yeah,
I think she's something. Like a high priestess in something very, very nefarious. And she's like lived 70 lives, and she just figured out how to do it in this one. Travis Kelce is her little bitch boy pawn, and he's going to live forever with her after this and be an actor and maybe an action star and just drag more money out of the Chiefs forever and ever and ever.
Very well could be true, to be honest.
There's my theory.
Yeah. Congrats. Hopefully it lasts a long time. She's not going to have anything to write about, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
She's going to write about getting married, Vince, and how it was a magical day at MSG.
She had some quote where
that's what she likes to eat in her Chinese food.
She's had this quote that she was like, he's the high school sports star that isn't friends with all the popular people, and he's like my dream man. And it's like, why are you're 34?
Oh, yeah? Dream man? Are we going to talk about this? When she was dating every British skinny soy boy.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to make this clear. I don't.
Come on.
Pass.
She can't say that. She can't say that. Because if you were into the big dudes, and this is for every woman listening to this podcast, if you're into the big dudes, it's just life's different for you in a better way. And you'll see.
You should be. Call me.
You should get into the big dudes. Vince, he's a little Pringle over there. And if you want to, get a little
Pringle
nibble of that Pringle, yeah, you're single. 312-725-2107.
Yeah, hit on me on our air. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, hit on Vince. Maybe we'll
we'll get Dimitri. All three women that listen to this podcast.
Dimitri might give you a little run for your money. You don't know.
I'll avoid him. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to see your feet. Well, as always, Vince, it's always a pleasure. We want to thank Donnie Marbut for just being a tremendous human being and joining us once again. The draft is going to be a tremendous day for us White Sox fans, and who knows, might be better than the 2024 draft, who many argue is one of the best, but we're incredibly excited for it. More content to come on the baseball topic this year. If you haven't yet, please like, follow, subscribe. As always, see you next week.
Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah,